We are so glad that you all have made your way to this session here, which is part of what we're calling our Caring for Kids with Autism and Developmental Differences series. So, oh, Liz Gomes is here, Alec.
Yep,
Yay!
she's on her way over to the panelist side.
So this series is hosted every other Wednesday from 1 to 2, right here from the convenience of wherever you find yourself. We record these sessions. Hi, Liz!
Hi, Liz.
We put the sessions, I'm just getting started introducing us, Liz. We put the recordings on our website, the Department of Pediatrics at Boston Medical Center, so they need not be watched live. All past sessions, well, some past sessions are up there, others will be there shortly, and we're really happy to be able to do this because we hope that it's good content. We feel a dire need to connect with everybody in our community, most especially our parent caregivers who we adore and appreciate so much. So I am going to so I want to talk about who we have today. So the esteemed panelist guests here are part of what is called our Parent Leadership and Autism Network, which is an initiative of the autism program at BMC. It is now, I think, in our 7th year or closing out our 7th year. It was born out of the notion that I think probably most people get without me having to say, which is that the very best people to get information and support and care for in the lives of raising one's children with autism are other parents. And so out of that came the Parent Leadership and Autism Network. We know that when one has a child, a son or daughter, an adolescent, an adult with autism, there's a life journey that deserves support and care and understanding, something that may not always be so automatic in families or even one's close circle of friends, but that is so seamlessly and inherently offered through connections with other families. So our parent leaders here do just that. They work with us. They get matched with families who are seeking support. They volunteer their time. They are tireless advocates. They are organizers and schedulers in chief. They are encyclopedias of knowledge. They are loyal, loving, devoted caregivers. They have so many hats with what they do. We are so grateful to have all of you guys here today and all of you connected with our program, doing everything that you do for us. So I would love for folks to get to introduce themselves. Why don't we'll figure out how to be orderly about this. And even if we don't, it'll be a mishmash of fun. Could you share with us your name, the people, the children in your family, the people in your household, and then maybe share with us 1 or 2 things that you would want people to know about you. So it might be something you perhaps do for work, or it might be something that you are really passionate about, or it might be some way that you view your role in your family. Your choosing. So can we get started? Would anyone like to get started? Jen, will you get us started?
I will. Hi, I'm Jen Adams. I am in Alston. I have 2 children. Zeph is 11. He will be 12 next month. And Elizabeth is 9 and will be 10 next month. And they both attend the Elliott K-8 in the North End, Boston Public Schools. We were the first school in Boston to close because there was someone in our community that was presumed positive with COVID-19. So we closed a week before all the other schools. So that has been really, I think that was a really interesting part of my kids' process through quarantine because they never had the chance to say goodbye. They didn't know that their last day of school was their last day of school. So it's been interesting. I think there's been a lot of social emotional needs in our household that I'm trying to get a better handle of what they are, because it's very confusing. Because during this time, I think most of us have jumped from, and no matter who our children are, we've jumped from being just parents to then, teachers and providers, more than just parents for our kids. But anyways, my son, Zeph, is my child with autism, and he was, I kind of can't remember what you asked me to say.
You've done most of it. Tell us anything about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am professionally, I'm a licensed massage therapist in Boston. So, of course, my practice was shut down because touching people and breathing right next to them isn't something that we want to do right now. It was reopened, but I did not go back to work because there is no childcare for my children. We decided in my family to have my husband go back to work and have me take over as primary caretaker for, continuity of care, really. And I'm just kind of a little bit better at keeping even keeled, surprisingly. So that's an interesting process, because I think I've defined myself by my profession for quite some time. So now I'm kind of in this like, wow, who am I? What am I? Like practicing the recent continuing ed that I've taken, practicing on my kids. But yeah, that's it. That's us. We're making it happen, making it work.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying all that. And thank you also for, sort of kickstarting what we're going to be talking about today. And there's so much of your story, and there's so much of everybody's story that we want to get to hear and learn about. Talking about this time during COVID and the I would like to say the many highs and lows and in betweens. I don't know if there are many of all three categories, but that that's whoops, I'm going to turn off my email. That is where
I lost everybody.
That's where we're going to sit here today. What's that, Liz?
I can't see nobody.
You can't see us?
No.
Huh?
See you.
We can see you. You look beautiful.
Maybe
No,
your screen. Did your screen go dark?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Are you on a phone or a different device?
No, I'm on a computer.
Huh.
All right, keep talking. I'll try to figure it out.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, why don't we move on? Faith, will you introduce yourself?
My name is Faith Jantkowitz. I have 3 children. My youngest is Emmett, and he is on the spectrum. He is 9, and I fortunately was not working. I was full-time at home when all of this happened, and so I was in an easy situation, except for the fact that I'm also the CPAC co-chair for my town, which means that I still get to be involved. And of course, services and everything else has been a significant issue for all of our families over this time period. So I've been very involved, and I feel like there's kind of no rest for the weary right now. And we're all in this together. And the thing that keeps me sane is that I have a child who loves being outdoors, and we take a drive and walk in like the wild every day. But we're lucky that we can do that.
That's awesome, Faith. That is so awesome. We want to hear a lot more about that. I think, it's interesting that you sort of note, I think you said it was easier because I was not, I was at home. I'm certain that none of this is easy, whether we're living in your home, out of your home, like on top of your home, like it's, so it's a world turned upside down regardless, for our kids, for us, for our communities. Jimmy, will you say hello?
Yes. Yes, I will. My name is Jimmy Kemburu. I'm a proud father of, how many children do I have? Just 1. And yeah, I used to work in academia, but I haven't worked in academia for the last 1 year. So now I've been just trying to get gigs here and there to survive. But now with COVID, of course, everything changed. I went from, I think I was a father and an advocate. So I think I kind of like moved into a caretaker, cook, everything that you're in between. A teacher, I actually didn't know. I used to teach a long time ago. I just realized I have very good skills in teaching after spending so much time with my daughter, April. That it's,
Jimmy, you're hired by everyone.
Thank you. It's amazing. The joy of the day that I have, and you probably, most of the parents know, I do love to walk with April. So COVID gave us more time to discover. I mean, we live down in Malden, we have walked every city around us, gone to the lake. Yeah, we tried to do the social distance. Hi, April. Just try to say hi. But for some reason, she seems to enjoy it. I actually love it myself because it gives us time together. We spend a lot of time together. And in so doing, we learn so many things. And I also, somehow, for some reason, I thought I knew her well. No, now I know her very well. I don't know if it's spending too much time with her in different environments, but now I just wish, if I was telling the teachers, if we had another IEP meeting, it would be very different. Because I kind of like would be in the middle. No, this is how you do that. No, this is how you do that from that experience. Yeah. And the other thing is that she just turned 22 during the summer. So I've been going up and down during that process because transition never happened for 3 weeks. And it's another fight, but anyway, that's a story for another day, but it's okay so far, so I'm not complaining.
Well, that's a monumental event to occur during this. So, maybe you'll talk a little bit more about that. And thank you for what you've shared. Now, we'll get into so much more. And by the way, you should take your skills to the internet or to COVID safe people's homes. It's amazing the types of things like out of this sort of what we see, what we're learning about ourselves and the things we can do, which mind you are, shocking and necessary and sometimes out of necessity. But maybe some silver linings there too. Last but not least, Liz, say hello to us. Can you see us yet?
Hi, everybody. I'm Liz Mason. I have a soon-to-be 17-year-old son, Mason. This COVID stuff struck us hard because Mason's a school lover, and he can't go to school. And I'm not a technology person, so the Zoom thing wasn't cut out for me. And then Mason didn't want to do the work from Zoom because he's saying that schoolwork is done at school, not at home. And then the thing with George Floyd came up, the protest and everything like that. So mentally, I didn't know which way I was going, because not only was I worried about the COVID, then it's like, I have a son. My son's Black. Could this happen? He's autistic, So, but
yeah,
we're home. We're safe. That's all I could say. Try to keep the house as comfortable as I can because I don't think we're getting out of this anytime soon.
Yeah. That uncertainty is, coupled with everything else is really hard or that's an understatement. And there's, and all that you've mentioned, that's profound and deep.
It's a lot because it's just me and him.
Yep.
Yep. It's just me and him, and it's not like I could take a walk and go talk to this one, that one, or anything like that. It's just that it stays all with you. But on the good thing, me and Mason, we have bonded real close. we're understanding each other. We're giving each other the space and stuff. He's independent. He goes out for his walks in the morning and then in the afternoon. So that part we're doing good. And now he wants to learn how to cook. I'm like, wait a minute, we can't burn the house down now. So just hold on that part.
That's awesome though, that he, that he's an independent young man learning lots of things. And, I'm thinking, we're learning so much about ourselves. We're learning so much about our kids with this, all of this time and opportunity together. Would you guys share, is there something that has surprised you about your sons or daughters as they've kind of navigated this time? What's something that has surprised you about them? And there's no particular order, so anyone can just share.
So I can start. Sorry, Jen. My son has no anxiety at home. So he's been a nail biter since he started school. He stopped going to school, stopped attending school, started doing classes, like some classes via Zoom, some therapy via Zoom. He continues to grow and learn, but he has like almost no anxiety compared to when he was at school. That was a shocker to me.
Good.
Fascinating. Says probably a lot about how he feels being at home, the safety of being at home. That's really interesting. How about for others?
Zeph has actually been the easiest of my children with virtual learning. He has had the least amount of resistance in doing the work and doing the Zoom meetings. And he also had a language explosion, which has been really helpful because we are spending so much time together. And like kind of speaking to what Jimmy was saying, like I thought I knew him, but now I really know him because he can tell me more about what he needs, but I can also read him a little bit better, a little clearer, and I know what he needs as far as curriculum a little bit better too. Like I feel like his next IEP meeting, I'm going to really know what to ask for and really know what supports he needs because I've been there for every class, Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, totally. It kind of turns the tables a little bit, gives maybe more a feeling of a sense of power in that conversation. So that's fascinating. Fascinating how much he loves or he's taken to virtual learning and as a surprise to you. Jimmy or Liz, what's something that surprised you about Mason or April?
I think I'll chime in, and I cannot agree more with Faith what she just said about the anxiety, because we have always thought, is April anxious about something? Of course, she's limited in what she can tell us verbally, so it always is a guessing game. But you can tell when the anxiety is there by the manifestation of the behavior or the transition, how she transitions from one activity to another activity. You can tell when there's no anxiety because you can see she's comfortable doing it, she's sleeping well, and all that stuff. So that's something I noticed. Now, we haven't been really sure what was causing anxiety at school. That's not there anymore, but that kind of like dissipated so much that has improved her behavior so much. And that's part of it. The thing that has surprised me more is the resilience and how much knowledge she gains every day. And I'm so proud of her. I can't tell you guys, I'm so proud of her because every task we take, and when I talk about tasks is that sometimes when we go walking, initially I thought if we did 4, 5, 6 miles, that would be great. We might skip a day. And we just kept increasing. And one day we just went 24 miles. I'm like,
the marathon?
Holy cow, one day. And this is a girl who was going to school, getting 6, 7 changes of clothes. She comes home completely dry. She have any accident. And this is almost 6 hours back, and I'm saying to my mom, can you tell me what's the problem here? I just I can't, but that's the serious. It's because, we build it up, and now she wants to do it. It's amazing. So the gist of the thing is, you just need exposure, take your time, and as time goes on, you cannot tell how much they can achieve. Any child can achieve anything. So that's what.
Wow. That's astounding. Really.
So remarkable. Yeah.
Well, how incredible. That's like a news story, I think, actually.
So
Pretty impressive. And I just have a follow-up. Do you think she knows how proud you are of her?
Oh yeah, I don't know if she knows how proud I am, but for some reason she's so attached to me and her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when we were walking, I don't know many times, like if she has other excuses, she likes to bribe me. Like if she want to cut a shortcut, she'll bribe me, or if she wants something, she'll bribe me by kissing me. So she always give me a peck on the cheek. She'll kiss me, or sometimes she'll say hug. She wants me a hug. So I think she is, because you can see she's smiling. The only problem is that she can't say it. So, like I like to say, she can't say it, but so I say it for herself. Yes. That's all I can say, yeah.
You read her cues so beautifully, Jimmy. And I'm guessing she reads yours equally the same. Liz, talk to us about Mason. What has surprised you about him during this time?
I never realized how independent he was. Yeah. We're near the Owenberger School, and they have the meal site there. So while I'm sleeping, Mason would get up, shower, get dressed and everything, and walk to the Owenberger School and come home. And then he'll turn around, hop on his Zoom without any assistance. And then he's starting like to do things around the house, like dishes and stuff. He'll take out the trash, cleaning the litter box. And when I do laundry and stuff, he's like helping me sort clothes. These are things he never did. And then when I do the clothes, he'll like take his clothes, put it in his room and stuff, all organized and stuff, which shocked me. And then when he goes, sometimes I just get so tired, I go to bed, and he'll like make sure the door's closed, the windows are closed, and everything. And basically he tucks me in, as opposed to before I used to tuck him in.
You're lucky, Liz.
Yeah, and I'm like, where's all of this coming from? And our biggest fight in the beginning of all of this is what to eat for dinner. So he turned around, he was like, let's make a deal. And I was like, what deal? And he was like, you pick one day, I pick another day.
Smart.
Like, okay, that works for me. So he's showing me more of his independence that I never knew he had, So I think I'm at a point now that I gotta like let go and let him do more for himself.
What has he wanted for dinner, Liz, when it's his turn to pick?
Well, you know what he wanted.
Burger King?
Macaroni and cheese, chicken, chicken parmesan, and pasta. Yeah, he asked for a couple of Cape Verdean dishes there. He likes food on the grill. Yeah. Yeah, so he's been doing more vegetables like mushrooms and what is it? Broccoli, asparagus. So
Liz,
I know.
this sounds like a dream.
I know. I never knew it was. I'm like, thank you, COVID. Yeah.
Vegetables, green vegetables.
Exactly. So he's I did get him I was telling Sherry, I got him a karaoke machine for Christmas. So he goes in his room every day from 6 to 9 to do his disco dancing. And so then right after when he comes, he'll like go to the bathroom, get the trash, go over there, get the trash, pile them all up, walk to the container and stuff like that. So it's been good. It's been real good. Yeah. I never knew he was capable of doing all those things.
Love hearing you say that. He's so capable. It sounds incredible, the things that he's wanting to do, what you're seeing in him, also his compassion and caretaking for you. And it sounds like, and it's sort of coming just intrinsically from him, the desire to do these things. So way to go, Mason. You're a rock star. By the way, he has a terrific singing voice. I can tell you after many a karaoke experience with him, he does have quite a way with the mic. So, so I'm wondering, can you talk about, what have you observed in terms of what your kids have needed to get through this? Maybe that sort of will lead to talking about like what the day looks like, or any structure to it, or lack of structure, or that could be sort of one way of answering it. But what sort of things have you seen that they've needed, or intuited that they've needed?
I just go with the flow day by day. And one thing I noticed about Mason though, and I'm starting to get worried, is that he's eating more than what he did before. It's like food is his comfort.
Yep.
Like he'll eat breakfast and I need a snack. He'll eat lunch, then I need a snack. And that's starting to worry me.
Yeah. That's happening in a lot of households. I mean, my own, I can speak for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening. Just constant.
Don't say it, Faith.
It's me. No. I'm eating a lot more.
Yeah.
But I will say that we have a whiteboarded schedule for when we have school-related stuff, and I find that helps so that my youngest knows when things are going to happen, because if he's receiving a service and he doesn't know about it, he gets upset. But if he has a schedule and he knows how the day's going to go, then he's much better. He's much less anxious or concerned about what's going to happen. He also taking drives has been the most cathartic thing for both of us. It's like time that I can decompress and time that he can decompress and look out the window and enjoy whatever. So like, I'm grateful for having a car so that we can do that. And like I said before, walks in the woods, that's and picking up frogs in ponds and feeding ponds, because that's something that is very important to him, apparently.
That's great. Yeah. So having, for him, having the sort of clear expectations of what, what's on his schedule for the day, having that important time with nature, or important time, in the car, riding and seeing things. That sounds like a good recipe that you've got going. Jimmy or Jen, talk to us about what you've observed Zeph and April needing through this, or serving them through this.
Jen, you want to go first, or do you?
Sure. So, like Faith, like Liz, I'm a mom that likes to go with the flow, but I know that Zeph needs a little more structure. So we had his schedule printed out. I had to pick up a couple of interesting school supplies, like in order for Zeph to pay attention on a Zoom, he needed to have a whiteboard so that he could doodle while he was listening, because he's in inclusion classrooms. So there were like 20 kids in the Zoom, and that was a lot of information to process sensory-wise. So I had to do that. And also he just, needs to take breaks. And luckily he also has a one-to-one who came with us on Zoom, and we were able to do like breakout breaks with him and all that kind of stuff. He also came with us to ESY. Yay, that was awesome, because we're doing virtual ESY. But I think one of the more, just to close it up, one of the more interesting things that both of my kids needed is they needed us to explain to them what was going on, because they knew something was wrong. And Zeph just asked over and over again, can we go here? Can we go here? Can we go to this place? Can we go to that place? And I was explaining to him, like, no, we can't, it's closed. And then he wanted to know why it was closed. And then everything, I just kept on wondering, like, is this appropriate to tell him? Is this appropriate to tell him? Because it's hard to gauge what he will digest and understand and not increase his anxiety. But we did explain to both of them what COVID-19 is. Zeph keeps on saying, like, he'll ask, like, oh, can we go to Jump On In? And I'm like, no, it's closed. And he went, it's closed because of coronavirus. How about no coronavirus? Like, he's just like, hey, can we just make it go away? So I do have to, like, reiterate, like, what's going on, and just explain to them that it's respiratory infection that we don't want to catch, but more importantly, we don't want some of our friends that, they're very aware that they have some friends that have comorbidities, that it would be very bad if they got this infection or virus. So that, and also we did some mask practicing, and we have masks that we like. So those are like those I think are honestly the main things they needed, because school aside, they needed peace of mind that they were going to be healthy, that we were going to be okay.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that is a great, I'd love to hear others' thoughts on that topic or experience on the topic. What have there been conversations in your homes, or how have you sort of explained, not necessarily the words, though you feel free to say the words, but how have you sort of explained why, the why of all of this, and the things that you've done to, like, around mask wearing or keeping everybody safe? What's that been like, and tell us your experience with it.
Mason's scared of the virus.
Say
And
it again.
when I go out, he'll tell me, make sure you don't bring that home. Go wash your hands. Yeah, he's very cautious about the virus. And we were watching the updates together. And then one day, you guys' president was on TV. And Mason said, Mommy, he's not making sense. And I was like, you know what? Let's just get away from this. But he's well aware of it and everything. And when he goes out the house, he'll wear his mask and everything. So we're okay with it. It's just, the thing is that he has no patience. He wants to know a specific date when school's gonna open. A specific date. When can he go meet with Shari on a Saturday? And that's only the hardest part that we're having here.
Yeah.
So for us, because we're out so much, like just out in nature, I thought it was really important for him to acclimate to a mask really early on. And plus we have like 3 people in our family who are immunocompromised. So we're really hypervigilant. And so he actually likes wearing a mask. I think it's very comforting to him. So he, like, right from the beginning, he was like, I need my mask whenever we go anywhere. Like, he'll, even to the car, or going to our neighbor's backyard, he likes to play in the dirt there. He's like, I need my mask. And he won't go anywhere without the mask. In fact, he tells me, he reminds me to put my mask on, which is great and helpful because I'm forgetful. And he also, like, he knows that there's a virus, but every single day he has to go swimming because we used to swim twice a week. And so every single day I have to hear about swimming and using a swimming pool and going to a swimming pool. And when will we go? And can we go to the beach? And when can we go to the beach? So that's our biggest struggle, is like, dude, we just can't right now. Or we go to the beach at night when nobody else is going to be there, because we don't need to worry about social distancing, because he really likes girls and he will walk up to any girl.
And he's adorable, so I'm sure he finds himself getting a fair bit of attention too.
And so we need to, like, he doesn't have, that's one thing that we've worked on, but it isn't working yet. It's like, dude, you cannot be in anybody's space right now. You just mine, just daddy's, just your brother, just your sister. So, but we're working on it. He's a work in progress. We all are.
Yeah. What you mentioned reminds me of what Liz said, though, about like the swimming pool and Mason wanting to know exactly when school's going back. And, you know, I mean, many of us benefit from the concrete, and there's such a lack of that right now. So, you know, having to find some ongoing language for it, and, you know, and it's no surprise that our kids are gonna keep asking and wanting and needing to know, much like we are in our own heads. So yeah, that's, thank you. Jimmy, do you want to talk about COVID? April's understanding of COVID, mask wearing, sort of how you've navigated helping this to make sense to her.
Yes, I should. I'll bring it back a little bit about her dates. I find structure to be very helpful, and that schedule. The only thing I would probably add that I found very helpful with April is that when we can create a visual schedule and put in front of her, but it's not really that meaningful, but letting her drive the bus, letting her decide how the schedule goes, giving her those options. She knows what a day and how her day is going to be, and the expectation of the day, then allow her to drive the bus. That's what I always say. If she's driving the bus, she's very comfortable driving the bus. And as long as there's no shortcuts and that's the expectation, then that gets done. Now, the wearing mask and COVID, that's really difficult because it's so concrete. And other than, you know, her not having the understanding of what COVID is, she has sensory issues so that she can't really let anything touch her mouth. And even when I put a mask, she doesn't really want to see it. She's putting it down all the time, just putting it down. You know, I can do all the explaining I need to do, but it doesn't register. So it's one of those things that actually I started a talk around the neighborhood because of people, you know, about the people wearing masks. And I said, everybody that I understand that wearing a mask is very important, that we all should wear a mask, but it's also very traumatizing for some of our population to wear masks. We'll try to do as much as we can, but we have to make a choice. If we can do social distancing, I don't walk. That's why if we want to walk in the morning, or we try to. Now we're pretty good. We cross the street, zigzag the street all the time. You see people coming, I'm on the other end of the street, the other end of the street. Other than that, I don't think, I'm not sure, and I don't know. I'm trying to find what the research says out there, because she can't tolerate a mask. And this is not just because she doesn't have the understanding, it's all basically because of the sensory issues involved with it. Like, it's to her, it's suffering to wear a mask. Forget about it not understanding. She can't really put it on because it's touching her the wrong way. It's very uncomfortable. And the way I look at it is torture to her. So I don't think it's very helpful to torture her trying to wear a mask and all that stuff. Now, we try to model like they say, I'm wearing it, you know, we try all kinds of masks, it's accessible, we play with it, but she's not gonna wear it. So that's one of those things that I don't even know what to do.
Jimmy, Mason has a friend that is nonverbal, and he was having a hard time doing the mask.
Yeah.
So, but he loves Madagascar.
Yeah.
What's that? Madagascar, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the movie Madagascar. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my friend make his mother, his father, and him a Madagascar mask, and he wears it. So, what character your April likes?
that's the thing. It's not a character. It's sensory. It's how she's feeling it. You can try a bandana. It's the feeling of it. It's the touching of it. Just like
Oh.
and that's what I'm trying to explain. She can't. It's just like shoes. You could, you could buy a shoe at $300, but if it doesn't feel right, she's not gonna wear it.
Oh.
So the
Okay.
shoe has to. It's more sensory to. It's the information it's sending to her sensory system, her nervous system. It's how she's feeling. It's not even a question of the color or anything.
What about the face shield?
So touches her head.
She won't wear. I'm telling you, we tried all kind of bananas. How do we even try it? You just tie it around her neck, and then spray something smells good because of like shake smells and stuff, and then you just introduce. April, can you smell it? And she'll go like this. But that's all she can do. If you try to bring it up, it's not possible. No, I'm not
So
saying. Yeah.
What we're recommending to families in our town is getting a note from a doctor, from a developmental pediatrician or pediatrician even, saying that this young woman cannot wear a mask. It's
No,
not.
the governor made it clear. The governor made it clear, Baker, that he understands that there are some kids with some sensory issues.
He did.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually educating the people around my town. I grew up in this group on the internet. I educate them, and I tell them I'm not saying this because I don't care. I said, trust me, I really care. I wouldn't want her infecting anybody. I wouldn't want her getting infected. But I want people to understand that it's not. Again, it's when somebody have a sensory processing disorder, it's really, really hard to overcome it just like that. You can try to desensitize them all you want, but you can imagine if somebody was pinching you concentrate and you can't tell them you're feeling pain, what do you do? Then that's where the behavior comes up. But what Faith said, I know that they said that, and of course, even educating people, I think it's also helpful so that they don't, like sometimes I feel like I'm gonna walk around with a sign saying, I have sensory issues, I can't wear a mask, don't give me that look. But anyway, I can't say that.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. I think, listen, the point of you knowing her so well, trying, it sounds like, every conceivable variation of this, and just kind of adapting your lives in ways that you can be the most safe, knowing that she it's going to be virtually impossible to get a mask on her. And maybe this is sort of the phased approach. Like right now that works, and in 3 months, if it doesn't, then there might be some new ideas. So these are real struggles. These are some of the very real struggles.
Yeah, but Sherry, with all due respect, the thing is that, now they got these my fear is these guidelines with the schools, because they want the kids 6 feet apart. Half of these classrooms don't have 6 feet. What about the bus rides?
Yeah, I know. I think that there's a lot still to be determined about how all of that is going to look or can even look. And I'm
and
sure.
then our kids, their sensory diets for the pool.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know.
Since I can just chime in, sensory diet is not a food. Sensory diet is just it's a group of things that you're supposed to do. They just use the word diet because it's kind of like consuming something. An example of a sensory diet: using a heavy blanket or using a squeeze machine could be part of the sensory diet. So sensory diet has nothing with food. It's those things that occupational therapists, physical therapists, and behavior therapists advocate or try to see that they help a child to stabilize, to be able to calm down. That's what it is. Even just putting on take a heavy pillow and put it on a child lap, it helps them calm. Having sit on a kind of like a disc ball that's moving a little bit, that's part of the sensory diet.
Thank you, Jimmy. I want to just shift us slightly, seeing that we are approaching 2:00 because this time has flown with everybody, and always so many wonderful things to say. I would love for us, as we sort of, one final question is, it's a two-parter though, is what have been what for you has been the biggest stressor? And then pair it with, what have you done or what have you found kind of has helped you to be able to get up each day and face it anew? So anybody tell us, share some of those things. And there may be several, there may be many, maybe there's hopefully plenty, but.
So for me, sorry, Jen. For me, zero downtime is really, really hard. I have a husband who works like crazy, crazy hours, and having zero downtime is really, really hard for me, because my son is eyes on him all the time, or he's up to mischief. So having zero downtime has been really hard for me. I have no choice. We have no choice. We have to do this every day, and we fortunately, I think for all of the people here, I adore my child. We love our kids, and the one thing that has been like totally life altering to me has been my middle child, who has totally stepped up and helped and started cooking with me, and that's been very cathartic and therapeutic to me.
It's beautiful, Faith. Beautiful. And the known downtime is a real thing. Is a real thing. So, and like huge empathy to you around that. Thank you. Somebody else?
I think for me, the biggest stressor has just been uncertainty, and there's been uncertainty in a couple of different realms. Like there's the uncertainty of, like a promised good health report card, the uncertainty of exposure. Both my husband and I have and had jobs that are direct with the public. They're like, what were they deemed? Like high touch. He's a tattooer and I was a massage therapist. So being close proximity to people, that was really like nerve wracking for a while. And like, even just like making that decision of him going to work and me not going to work. We're less worried about him, but we were definitely worried about me because it just wasn't as medically regulated. Tattooing is set up more medically. So there's that, and then the uncertainty of like finances, the uncertainty of how long will he be able to thrive in his occupation? When will we get shut down again? Because that is definitely something that's going on in my head. And yeah, that like just, like basics like security, like food, health, a shelter, that kind of stuff are the biggest stressors and I, drowned my sorrows around Easter time in Cadbury mini eggs, which were just, they came out at the best time. I can't believe I didn't buy stock in them.
The Reese's eggs are what does it for me.
Oh, really? Well, then I ate too many. And I've gotten into a position now where I'm like, I have GERD. So I have to like watch what I'm eating, when I'm eating, because I have too much stress and too much stomach acids bubbling through. But then, much like what Faith said, like my family, like we all really like each other and we all really like to be together. So, we live in a very small setting, but it's fine. We're all fine with one another. We don't need that much outside entertainment. So like, not being able to go out to eat, not being able to like see friends, like, sad, but at the same time, like we're fine because we like each other. So that's been really, really helpful. And I don't think it's like quite meditative healing. Oh, see, April's getting so tired. Like, Dad, I need you for a walk. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a nice image what you just painted, all of you guys.
Yeah, we just like sit in a pile and do our own thing, read.
Yeah. So nice. So nice. Liz, talk to us about biggest stressors and what has been you know, what does it for you so that you can kind of get up each day and keep carrying forward.
But my biggest stressor is when is this all going to end? You know?
Mhm.
And then, will I have enough for food? Because as you notice, there's no sales no more.
Mm.
There's nothing out there, and you go to the grocery stores, and it's like, get what you can. And then when you have a child who doesn't understand, like if he wants something, he needs to have it. That's the hardest thing. And then the other thing is if I think if we were in the winter months, it would have been more comforting because it's cold out, it's less going out and everything like that. But with the heat and being stayed at home, that's really starting to like set in with limited places of going.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And what keeps me going? I get out of bed because my back can't take that bed no more. And then, you know, these Zoom meetings, it's like everybody, you go to work or a thing or a meeting, you have like a table that's appropriate and stuff like that. But sitting on the kitchen table with stuff,
Yeah. It's no substitute. It's
no.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
We get it. We
let's
get it.
just pray for the best.
Yeah.
Let me just say it that way.
Yeah. Well, I hope that chair is good for your back, better than the bed.
I'm ready to kick this chair out.
Jimmy, will you close us out? Answer for us, you know, what's been your biggest stressor and what's been, you know, the thing or the things that have gotten you through it?
I think the biggest stressor for me is not knowing what's next.
Mhm.
And in terms of what not knowing is what's next, it's very unfortunate that this COVID happened just about time that we were preparing for April's transition from school to adult services. It's a very challenging time, even without COVID. And what I found is that, you know, I thought after advocating for April for over 22 years that I knew what the school systems are. I was so mistaken. I've been taken back by disappointed, very, very disappointed by the response that I'm getting or anything that's helpful or the lack of empathy from the people who are supposed to at least understand where it's coming from. So I think that's what's the stressor is. What happened next? When are the schools going to open? When are the day programs going to open? What are we going to do next? How safe is he going to be? How accommodating are they going to be based on the needs that she has? And then, you know, we all need to provide for our families. So if you're home with your child, then what do you eat? You know, that's a stressor. What keeps me moving is I just look at April every time, like when she was putting on with it. She has no worries in this world. She thinks everything is possible to her, you know. All she cares about is that, Daddy, I want that. Mommy, I want that. She doesn't even know that there's COVID. She doesn't even know that anything could happen. So that in itself gives me the hope that, you know, at least she's happy. And if she's happy, I'm happy. If she's happy, we are all happy because that's all we care about. I mean, if we can stay healthy and she's happy, then everything else is gonna work all right. But what I can say is that we all have to put that seatbelt and the struggle continues. It doesn't even begin. I don't even know. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating when I think about, you know, and I'm talking about hearing what they tell you, ask questions, seeing what happens. And I'm saying, when you think about it, I'm finding it hard. I only have one child. What about the people who have more than one child? You may have atypical children, but even them, you know, you have to take care of them. So it's one of those things that I think we're all in this together. But anyway, I'm not going to bore complaining, but I'm happy that we all healthy.
I think what you shared about April and the way that she views the world and her happiness is a lesson that we can all live by. And, you know, all the stories, the same can be said for each of your kids. The resiliency they found, the strength that they found, the joy that they've found in these times together. You know, all lessons for all of us. You guys are phenomenal. You are, as always, just a gift.
It's such a privilege. It's
It
such
is
a gift.
It is, and that you took the time today. We just love hearing from you and knowing you, and can't really thank you enough. So that is it. There are some nice messages in the chat, thanking everyone, and we are just wishing everyone continued strength, health, all of it. Sleep, perhaps. And rest. So with that, we will sign off.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Goodbye, guys. We miss you all.
Bye, everyone. We miss you too.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, stay safe.
You too.
Okay.